This video, what I'm going to do is go over the Gotrax Fusion scooter. I'm just going to kind of like go over the specs and then do a little quick ride test. What's funny is I came out to do the ride test today and it just started raining. We're in luck because these scooters have a small waterproof rating to them. So you know what? The rain is a good test. Actually, let me just go ahead and start going through the specs for y'all now. It's a 300 watt motor and the battery capacity on this thing is 36 volt, 5.8 amp hour battery, and it goes up to 18 miles per hour and it gets a 14-mile range. It's got 8.5-inch pneumatic tires, and the pneumatic tires gives it a little more cushion and a little better grip. Check out that grip on that tire. We will be putting that to the test on some wet roads today, by the way, so make sure you got your helmet on. And there is a folding feature. What you do, you basically pull up this lever right here, and then this drops down and it folds, and it gives you a good handhold for picking it up and walking around or sticking it in the trunk of a car or something like that. So there's all the specs on this thing. Let me go ahead and start back here at the back and just kind of like walk my way forward. It has a brake light. That brake light actually flashes when you mash the brakes. Back fender here, do not use it as a step. This little thing right here is the hook for when you lay it down. It's got 110 millimeter disc brakes in the back. And to adjust it, you'll adjust it right there. It's got a rubberized grip that seems to be kind of like glued on there. And then you open this thing, see where it says open? You open that, and that's where there's a seat option to this. It's not the widest of decks, but you know what? It's wide enough for the price range. I think it's definitely adequate. Let me lay it down here. There is reflectors on the side, and those are adjustable springs. So this has suspension in it, which is kind of crazy at this price point. You can see how it's folding right there. It adds a more cushiony ride to it. That's where you're going to charge it, and to charge it, it took me around about 5-6 hours of charging. The wire management looks very clean on this thing. It comes out right there and goes around, and I have been putting this thing through its paces. I've been riding it actually pretty hard, probably harder than what a lot of people do, and this thing's been holding up great for me anyway. There's the hub motor on the front, has reflectors on the side, has fenders on it. They are plastic fenders. Cool little logo right there, kind of looks like a little Power Ranger in the front. Okay, moving up here to the handlebars. So you see these two screws right here? When I got this thing in, it was super simple to assemble. All you had to do was drop the handlebars down in there and line these two screws up, and they gave you the supplied tools, and you just screw those down, and it was like, I had this thing ready to ride in like maybe 10 minutes. One of the easiest like builds I've had on all of my e-bikes or e-scooters here. You have a bell that's integrated. The bell is integrated with the back brake. That is a back brake. And the front brake is a engine brake. But check it out. You can actually see how you can slide. I love tail sliding these scooters, by the way. So to turn this thing on, there's the power button right here. Hold down that. 3 seconds, comes on. There's 2 modes on this thing. There's Eco and there's Sport. I'm in Sport all the time. You can see the display there, and there's the battery display. Very nice and bright. Look at the size of this display. I really like how wide and clear they made that display. And to turn the light on, you push that button, and there's a pretty good little headlight. That headlight shines pretty good. There's no lights down here, but the brake light does come on, and it still flashes when you mash it. So you do have a tail light and a headlight. The hand grips were kind of like slide-on grips. They're not locking grips, but they're super grippy and very comfortable. All right, everybody, there's the walkthrough of all the parts and pieces and the settings on this thing. Let me go ahead and give you a ride test. I'm gonna ride it around the park here today. It did start raining on me, but it's not pouring rain. But you know what? It's enough to test out the fenders and test out the suspension, and then we can test out top speed on this thing. I don't know if you can see it in the camera, but we'll start out in that eco mode. And one thing with this scooter is you have to push to start. So you see how I'm pushing my foot, meaning that it has to get to 2 miles per hour before it starts taking off with you. Look how it's just busting through that water like it's nothing. So in eco mode, this thing will hold 12, 13 miles an hour pretty easy, everybody. I'm in cruise right now. You can see that. That's 14 miles per hour in eco mode. I told you, I'm really impressed with the power on this thing. What's the stopping? So if I want to stop, very responsive on its stopping. So let's go ahead. So we've seen how eco mode. Let's go ahead and let's put this in sport mode. So now we're in sport mode right now. Like, I don't feel any type of slippage on those tires. Now this is not advised, everybody, but there is shocks in this thing. And I do jump a lot. It's just so you know. I can bunny hop it pretty easy too. When you hear that beep, you are in cruise, which all you got to do is barely touch the brakes and it goes out of cruise. Look at that, everybody. My feet are actually still dry. 17. I have got this thing up to 18 miles per hour before. I'm not, you know what? I was very tempted to send it off of that. Let's go down those stairs. Okay, I can't do that. But because of how light this thing is, by the way, this is one of the lightest things. I can pick this thing up fairly easy, just one hand. Okay, we're going up a little bit of a hill here. Okay, this is probably a good 10% incline right here. And it's pulling me up this very nicely. Woo! Break time. All right, everybody, there it is. There's the full walkthrough and ride test of the Gotrax Fusion scooter. Who do I think this will be good for? I think this would be good for any, like maybe just kind of getting around a campus or running like a quick shuttle or kind of like getting across a big parking lot, parking really far away from something and then scootering in. The cities is what I really like doing in this thing. I love how compact it is and how quickly you can fold it down, put it in the trunk of a car, the back of my van or something like that. That's all I got today on the Gotrax Fusion. See y'all in the next video.